Burkina Faso, a landlocked nation in the heart of West Africa. A country of proud heritage, resilient spirit, and a people who have endured much, but refused to break. In recent years, Burkina Faso has found itself on the front line of a dangerous conflict. Islamist militant groups, some with direct ties to international terror networks, have attempted to destabilize not just this nation, but the entire Sahel region. And just days ago, they struck again. An estimated 100 militants launched a brutal assault on a military base in northern Burkina Faso. They looted, burned, and fled, leaving behind the tragic loss of 50 brave soldiers. The attack sent shockwaves across the nation. The group believed to be behind it is JNIM, Jama'a Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin, a coalition of extremist factions aligned with Al-Qaeda. JNIM has grown increasingly aggressive in recent months. They are not alone. The entire Sahel, a belt of land stretching across Africa just below the Sahara, has become the epicenter of global terrorism, accounting for over half of all terror-related deaths worldwide. From Mali to Niger, and now deep into Burkina Faso, armed groups are waging war not just on governments, but on the future of African stability. But make no mistake, Burkina Faso is not collapsing. It is fighting back. Under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, a new era of national defense and strategic resilience is emerging. While Burkina Faso's military junta came to power amidst political uncertainty, it has steadily gained the trust of a nation long betrayed by ineffective civilian governments and foreign interference. Today, the people of Burkina Faso are not retreating in fear. They are rallying behind their army, behind their communities, and behind a vision of independence and sovereignty. Despite the violence, the military government has doubled down on efforts to reclaim territories from insurgents. Strategic bases are being reinforced. New alliances are being forged across the region, with Mali, Niger, and other Sahelian neighbors, forming a united front against terrorism. Beyond the battlefield, the government is also investing in hope. Schools, clinics, and farms are being rebuilt in liberated areas. Voices that were silenced by fear are speaking out again. The Burkinabè youth, once forced to flee, are returning to their villages with a renewed sense of purpose. This is no longer just a war of bullets and ideology. It is a war for identity, for freedom, for the soul of the Sahel. And in that war, Burkina Faso is not alone. Since the start of 2025, JNIM and its affiliates have mounted a relentless campaign of terror across the Sahel, leveraging complex tactics, drone strikes, suicide bombs, massed motorcycle assaults, and inflicting mounting casualties on both military and civilian populations. February 2025. Sustained assaults on military and VDP positions in Djibo, Sahel region, Tanwalbugu, and Bongo, including the seizure of a checkpoint in Bongo, signaled JNIM's continued push to fracture state control and erode frontline defense capacity. March 28, 2025. Diapega, eastern Burkina Faso. A devastating coordinated assault by JNIM fighters killed at least 60 soldiers, with some reports placing the toll at 63, and sparked looting, arson, and even the release of detainees. The group claimed it as vengeance for earlier civilian massacres. April 17 to 24, 2025. Northern Benin. In twin attacks near the Burkina border, JNIM claimed to have killed 70 soldiers, though official figures were later revised to 54. These strikes represent JNIM's deadliest operation in Benin and mark its clear intent to expand into coastal West Africa. May 11, 2025. Djibo, Burkina Faso. JNIM militants overran the military camp, looted its facilities, destroyed public buildings, and reportedly killed between 100 and 200 soldiers and civilians. May 12, 2025. Diapega raid. Just days after the previous assault, JNIM attacked again, seizing control of the town, destroying monuments, and freeing prisoners. May 23, 2025. Diora, Mali. A deadly attack on a military base resulted in 41 soldiers killed, with JNIM fighters overrunning the facility before withdrawing later in the day. June 1, 2025. Bolakesi, Mali. JNIM fighters, estimated around 100 strong, launched one of their most lethal assaults this year, overrunning a military base and killing approximately 100 Malian soldiers, while capturing about 22 others. June 2, 2025, Timbuktu, Mali. A multi-pronged assault struck the airport and surrounding checkpoints. Official accounts vary, but casualties are estimated between 30 and 60 soldiers. The attack was ultimately repelled, but its audacity marked a sharp escalation. March 20, 2025, Zongo, Burkina Faso. In one of the first recorded militant drone attempts in the region, JNIM deployed improvised explosive drones near Zongo in Kolpilogo province. One drone malfunctioned and was recovered, signaling their growing technical experimentation. January mid-May 2025 regional tally. According to aggregated analysis of Burkina Faso and Mali, JNIM carried out 584 attacks, resulting in approximately 2,198 casualties, including soldiers and civilians. Among these incidents, ambushes near Mangodara, deadly clashes in Bagmusa, Kolpilogo, and the capture of posts at Yoldi and Wayaguya. This systematic escalation illustrates the reach and ruthlessness of JNIM, not just within Burkina Faso but across national borders. Their persistence and geographical spread underscore a deeper challenge, one that demands not only military resilience, but also social and regional solidarity. But JNIM's terror campaign is not limited to military bases and rural villages. Their ambitions reach far higher, aimed directly at the heart of Burkina Faso's leadership. Since assuming office in 2022, President Ibrahim Traoré has survived multiple assassination attempts, calculated, well-resourced plots designed to remove a man who has refused to bow to foreign pressure. From coordinated ambushes on convoys to insider threats and drone surveillance near the presidential compound, the enemies of this revolution have not relented. And who arms them? Who benefits from a destabilized Burkina Faso? While militant groups claim religious ideology, their access to weapons, intelligence, and satellite communications betrays a darker truth. These attacks are not fueled by faith, but by funding. And much of that funding, observers say, flows through unofficial channels linked to Western interests. Over the past decade, billions of dollars in military aid, counter-terrorism funding, and humanitarian partnerships have been funneled into the Sahel region. Yet violence has only escalated. The same insurgents Burkina Faso is fighting today often wield NATO-grade weaponry, drive American vehicles, and communicate through encrypted Western-made technology. It is no secret in Ouagadougou or Bamako, foreign intelligence agencies have quietly backed proxy groups to maintain chaos, manipulate resources, and punish governments that defy their control. Traoré's defiance has made him a target. His calls for Pan-African sovereignty, resource nationalization, and an end to Western neocolonialism have angered former colonial powers and disrupted decades of quiet exploitation. What we are witnessing is not just a war against terror. It is a covert war against self-determination. A war against leaders who refuse to kneel. Yet despite the plots, despite the drones and the bribes, Traoré still walks among his people, armored in trust, surrounded by soldiers and civilians who now understand that Burkina Faso's freedom will not be gifted. It must be defended. Because the enemies of Africa don't just wear turbans in the desert. Some wear suits in foreign embassies. And while the attacks may be launched from the shadows, the response is now blazing in the open. Africa is awakening. Burkina Faso is standing. And the era of submission is ending. But while the enemies of Burkina Faso conspire in the shadows, President Ibrahim Traoré has been busy reshaping the battlefield, not just with speeches or ideology, but with steel, satellites, and strategy. Under his leadership, Burkina Faso's military is undergoing one of the most rapid and ambitious modernization campaigns in West African history. No longer relying on outdated equipment or foreign dependence, the country is sourcing cutting-edge tools of defense, and choosing its allies with precision. From Turkey, Burkina Faso has acquired advanced Bayraktar TB2 drones, surveillance gear, tactical vehicles, and smart munitions. These unmanned systems now patrol vast stretches of terrain once controlled by terrorists, turning the tide with real-time intelligence and surgical precision. From China come armored personnel carriers, drone jammers, and long-range communication systems, essential tools in restoring control across rural zones where conventional warfare once failed. But it is Russia that plays the most critical role in this transformation. Through a deepening defense partnership, Russian military advisors, tactical officers, and intelligence specialists are now embedded within Burkina Faso's security infrastructure, providing elite training, counterinsurgency planning, and cyber defense capabilities. Burkinabè soldiers are being trained in urban warfare, ambush neutralization, and psychological operations, skills previously reserved for elite units in great power militaries. New intelligence units have been established, capable of intercepting insurgent communications, analyzing drone footage, and rapidly responding to field threats. And this time, there are no strings attached. Unlike previous partnerships with Western nations, always conditioned on debt, obedience, and political compromise, these alliances are built on mutual respect, strategic interest, and non-interference. This rearming is not just physical, it's ideological. President Traoré has made it clear, Burkina Faso will defend itself by any means necessary. It will not wait for permission, and it will not ask for mercy. Across the country, newly trained troops are redeploying to vulnerable zones. Drone command centers are springing up. Airstrips are being reinforced. Radar systems are being calibrated. What was once a scattered defense force is now becoming a disciplined, technology-driven army, built for modern conflict, and backed by a people who refuse to surrender their soil. This is not charity. This is not colonization. This is sovereign rearmament, an African nation arming itself with wisdom, with weapons, and with the will to fight on its own terms. And every bullet, every drone, every line of encrypted code now carries a message. Burkina Faso will no longer be a victim of history. It will make history. Across the continent, movements are rising, demanding African solutions to African problems. Demanding that Western nations stop treating Africa as a chessboard, and instead respect its right to chart its own course. Because the people of Burkina Faso are not victims. They are survivors. Builders, warriors, dreamers. Yes, the road ahead remains dangerous. Yes, more sacrifices will be made. But the spirit of resistance burns brighter than the fires of terror. And the people know, in their hearts, in their bones, that victory will not be handed to them. It will be earned. Burkina Faso may be under siege, but it is not defeated. It is standing up, for its people, for its land, and for its future.